Some secrets are heavy enough to break a family, and in Heartland Season 19 Episode 2, someone is hiding a truth that can change everything at the ranch. The title of the episode says it clearly. Two can keep a secret, but what it does not say is the second half of that famous quote, if one of them is dead. That is a warning. And in this episode, the message is clear. Secrets always come with a price. In Episode 2 of Heartland Season 19, the story does not explode with action at first. Instead, it slowly builds tension, like a storm gathering over the hills around the ranch. Everything looks calm from the outside, but if you pay attention, you can feel something is off. The smiles are a little forced. The conversations feel guarded. People are saying less, holding back more. Something is being protected. Or someone. Amy is the first clue that this episode is built around the power of secrets. She has always been honest, direct, and emotionally open. But in this episode, there is a quiet shift in her. Her eyes speak before her words do. She looks distracted, troubled by thoughts she refuses to share. It might not be obvious to someone who is new to Heartland, but long-time fans know Amy, and when she starts closing herself off, it means she is protecting something she feels she cannot share not yet. This becomes even clearer in her interactions with Lindy. Her daughter is her world, and Amy has fought through pain, grief, and fear to raise her with love and strength. But in Episode 2, there is a moment when Lindy asks a simple question, one connected to the past, and Amy hesitates. It is not what she says that matters. It is what she avoids. She quickly changes the topic, her voice soft but tense. That is when the audience understands this secret is not only tied to her, but also to her daughter. Meanwhile, Lou notices something is off too. She has always been the one who tries to keep the family moving forward, no matter what falls apart around them. But even she can see that Amy is pulling away emotionally. Lou tries to ask, gently at first, but Amy shuts her down with a soft but firm, "I'm fine." That is the most dangerous kind of lie, the kind people tell to avoid facing their pain. But the most telling part of this episode is not what people say. It is how they act. Jack watches his family with quiet worry. He has seen this before in Amy right after Ty died. He knows that silence is sometimes a shield, a way to cope with fear before it becomes reality. When Jack asks Amy if there is something she wants to talk about, she denies it. He lets it go on the surface, but the look in his eyes says everything. He does not believe her. The title of this episode, "Two Can Keep a Secret," begins to take shape here. The message is not about lies. It is about protection, the kind of protection that comes from love. Amy is not hiding something because she wants to deceive her family. She is hiding it because she thinks telling the truth will hurt them and maybe even change their lives. But Heartland has taught us one thing across all these years. Secrets do not stay quiet forever, and when they come out, the truth always demands a price. Episode 2 is like a slow fuse burning. You do not see the fire yet, but you can feel the heat. Secrets do not stay silent in a world built on family. In Heartland Season 19 Episode 2, the tension quietly spreads from Amy to the rest of the ranch like a crack in glass. What starts as one secret slowly reveals others hiding in the shadows. If you watch closely, you will realize this episode is not about one secret. It is about many, connected, layered, and dangerous. Tim Fleming is the clearest sign of this. Tim has always been a flawed man trying to fix his past, but Episode 2 shows hints of something new, something he is not ready to talk about. At first, he seems normal, busy with work and pretending everything is fine, but his temper gives him away. He snaps at simple questions. He shuts down conversations. He avoids eye contact whenever someone brings up his recent trip away from Heartland. He thinks he is hiding the truth well, but his behavior says otherwise. Then comes the moment that changes the tone. Tim gets a phone call, short, tense, private. He steps outside and lowers his voice, but we can still see his body stiffen. The call is not business. It is personal. He ends it quickly, and just like that, the mask slips back on. But now we know. Tim is not just carrying a secret, he is afraid of it getting out. Jack sees it. Jack always sees more than he says. He asks Tim if everything is fine, but Tim avoids the question. He laughs it off. accusing Jack of overthinking. This is classic Heartland pain hiding behind humor, truth hiding behind pride. But Jack is not convinced. In his calm voice, he warns Tim, secrets don't protect people. They only delay the damage. Tim walks away without answering. And that silence speaks louder than anything he could have said. Meanwhile, Lou has secrets of her own, though hers are more emotional than factual. She is still trying to be strong for everyone, especially for Amy. But deep down, she is tired. She is carrying the weight of responsibility, of motherhood, of being mayor, of keeping the ranch together. And yet, she does what she always does, hides it behind a busy schedule and a tight smile. But here is the powerful truth of episode 2. This story is not just about characters hiding facts. It is about people hiding feelings. Amy hides fear. Tim hides guilt. Lou hides emotional exhaustion. Even Jack hides worry to protect the family from falling apart. Everyone is trying to carry their burden alone because they think sharing it will cause more harm. They believe silence is a form of love. But the audience knows it is a slow path to collapse. The theme of the episode now becomes clear. A secret does not always involve lies. Sometimes it involves protection. And sometimes it involves running from who we used to be or who we might become. As episode 2 unfolds, you start to feel something dark rising under the story. A question begins to form in your mind. What if the real danger is not the secrets themselves, but what people are willing to do to keep them? And that is where the episode turns from quiet tension to emotional fire. Because once the truth starts shaking the doors of Heartland, someone will have to decide, protect the secret or save the family. Every secret has a heartbeat. It starts small, quiet, almost harmless. But in Heartland Season 19, Episode 2, you begin to feel those heartbeats get louder. What began as silent tension now starts turning into emotional damage. And by this point in the episode, it is clear no one at the ranch is safe from the fallout. The first sign comes from Amy once again. But this time her silence hurts someone she loves. Lindy feels the change in her mother. Children notice things adults think they hide. And Lindy is no different. There is a moment when she asks Amy a simple question about her father. Amy freezes. She forces a smile and changes the topic like she did before. But this time, Lindy does not let it go. Her eyes show confusion. Distance begins to form. And for Amy, that moment is a warning. What she is trying to protect might end up hurting the one person she is trying to keep safe. The emotional theme deepens through the episode's symbolism. Heartland has always used horses to mirror human emotions, and episode 2 does this beautifully. Amy works with a troubled horse that refuses to trust anyone. It behaves calmly until someone gets too close, then it reacts with fear. The horse is not angry. It is scared of being hurt again. When Amy says, "Trust is built slowly," she is not only speaking to the horse, she is speaking to herself. And to us, hurt changes people. It makes them hide truth, protect their hearts, and build walls. But walls do not heal pain. They trap it. Tim's storyline also begins to show cracks. He tries to keep his secret buried, but guilt has its own way of leaking out. Instead of talking, he throws himself into work. Instead of opening up, he argues with people who care. He snaps at Jessica for no reason. He avoids direct questions. And when he thinks no one is watching, he stares into the distance like a man haunted by something from his past. Whatever he is hiding, it is eating him alive. Lou has her own emotional war. She tries to control everything around her because that is how she handles stress. But control is also a form of fear. She micromanages family plans, worries over business decisions, and pushes herself to be perfect. But beneath that pressure is a truth she refuses to face. She does not trust the people around her to carry their own weight. She does not want to burden them with her problems, so she buries them. But the more she carries alone, the more she breaks inside. And just like Amy and Tim, she chooses silence over honesty, love over truth. But at what cost? Jack is the emotional anchor of the episode. He sees everything. He understands without being told. He knows these people are struggling but refusing to speak. And his silence becomes a symbol. He knows he cannot force anyone to reveal their truth. He can only stand by them, waiting for the moment they are ready to face what they are hiding. Episode 2 uses small moments, not big confrontations, to send its message. Secrets do not start wars. They start distance, silent lunches, avoided eye contact, broken trust, misunderstood actions. And once people begin to drift away, pulling them back is not easy. By the end of this section of the story, we realize something powerful. The episode is not asking us, what is the secret? It is asking something far more human. Can love survive without honesty? Heartland has always been about family, but now that family is being tested in a quiet, devastating way. And as the cracks deepen, someone will eventually break. Secrets do not stay buried forever. They wait, they watch, and when the time is right, they break through. Heartland Season 19 Episode 2 builds toward that moment. By now, the quiet tension has turned into emotional pressure, and it feels like the ranch is holding its breath. Something is coming. You can feel it long before it arrives. The title of the episode, "Two Can Keep a Secret," now gains a darker meaning. It is not just about someone hiding the truth, it is about how dangerous that truth becomes the longer it is locked away. What began as protection now turns into risk. And by the final act of the episode, we begin to see just how heavy some of these secrets are. The real turning point comes through a chain reaction of choices. Lindy's growing distance from Amy forces Amy to face a harsh reality. Her silence is not protecting her daughter, it is building a wall between them. For a moment, Amy almost tells the truth. You can see it in her eyes. She wants to speak. She wants to share the burden she is carrying. But fear wins again. Not fear of being judged, fear of what the truth might do. Fear of reopening old wounds. Fear of breaking what little peace she has found since losing Ty. Her silence is not selfish. It is emotional survival, but the cost of silence spreads. Lou is so busy hiding her stress and holding everything together that she finally reaches her breaking point. In one of the most emotional scenes of the episode, she lashes out not because she wants to hurt anyone, but because she feels alone in carrying the weight of everything. She has bottled up her emotions for too long, and now they spill over. This is one of the most honest moments of the episode. Proof that honesty delayed becomes pain returned. And then there is Tim. His storyline shifts from quiet guilt to real fear. The secret he is hiding is no longer just haunting him, it is threatening to come out. Someone knows something. Someone has a piece of his past. And that mysterious phone call from earlier in the episode, it was not random. It was a warning. There is a truth connected to Tim that could tear open old wounds and put the family in emotional danger. And like most people who fear being exposed, Tim does what he always does, he prepares to fight instead of confess. He finds a way to bury it deeper. For now, Jack feels the tension rising and delivers the quiet truth of the episode. In a rare moment of vulnerable honesty, he says one line that defines everything: secrets don't keep you safe. They keep you stuck. That line is not just for Amy or Tim or Lou. It is for the entire family. It is for anyone who has ever held onto something in fear of what might happen if it came out. Jack reminds us that love without trust cannot survive for long. And that is the storm coming to Heartland, not anger, not betrayal, but broken trust. By the end of episode 2, no secrets are revealed yet. But one truth becomes clear: the longer these characters hide what they feel, the further they drift from each other. And that is the quiet tragedy of the episode. It does not explode. It doesn't scream. It bleeds. The deeper meaning of "two can keep a secret" now reveals itself. It is not a warning about lies. It is a message about fear, about the walls people build to protect their hearts, about love and guilt and grief, about how truth can hurt but silence can destroy. And as the episode fades out, a final question lingers over Heartland like a storm cloud. Who will tell the truth first, and who will be too late? Sometimes an episode is not meant to give answers. Sometimes it is meant to make us feel something first. Heartland Season 19 Episode 2, "Two Can Keep a Secret," is not about revealing the truth. It is about teaching us why truth matters. It shows us the slow damage of silence. It reminds us that people do not hide things because they are weak or dishonest. They hide them because they are afraid. Afraid of losing someone. Afraid of being judged. afraid of reopening old pain. But episode 2 also plants something else: hope. Even in the middle of emotional distance, there are small moments that show this family is still connected, still fighting to stay together. Like when Jack quietly puts a comforting hand on Amy's shoulder even though she won't open up. Or when Lou covers for Amy during a stressful moment without asking a single question. Or when Jessica tries to reach Tim not by pushing him, but by standing beside him. Small moments, quiet moments. But in Heartland, those moments always lead to healing, and this brings us to the heart of the episode's message. Secrets are not the real enemy. Fear is. Secrets are only symptoms of something deeper, something that needs to be faced. That is what episode 2 is truly about. The fear of truth, the cost of hiding, and the first steps toward courage, because courage does not start with shouting the truth. It begins in silence with a choice. The choice to trust someone enough to finally speak. To open the door just a little. To start healing. Heartland has always been a story about strength through love, and this episode stays true to that. It prepares the ground for what is coming, a moment when at least one secret will rise to the surface. And when it does, it will shake Heartland Ranch. The question is not what the secret is anymore. The real question is, who will break first and who will break free? As we move into episode 3, the tension will only grow. Hidden truths will begin to collide. New danger may step in from the past. And trust, once tested, will never return completely unchanged. The story is shifting. This season is not here to repeat the past, it is here to challenge the future of Heartland. Relationships will be tested. Loyalties will be questioned. And someone will have to decide whether holding onto a secret is worth losing someone they love. Before I close, I want to hear from you. What do you think the title really means? Does "Two Can Keep a Secret" hint at betrayal? Protection? Sacrifice? Or something darker we have not seen yet? And most importantly, whose secret do you think will come out first? Amy's? Tim's? Or someone we have not suspected yet? Tell me your thoughts in the comments. I read every theory. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want deeper story analysis, character psychology, and hidden meanings from Heartland Season 19, make sure to subscribe. There's a lot more coming. And trust me, you do not want to miss what episode 3 sets into motion. This is more than a show now. This season is a turning point. And every secret brings us closer to the truth. Until next time, stay curious, stay strong, and never be afraid of the truth. Stories are not just entertainment. The best ones hold up a mirror to our lives. Heartland has always done that. And Season 19 Episode 2 proves it again. Two Can Keep a Secret is not a mystery title anymore. Now we understand what it really means. It is a warning, a test, a quiet confession that everyone carries something they do not want the world to see. This episode peels back the truth about human nature. We think secrets protect us. We think silence keeps people safe. We believe that hiding pain is the same thing as being strong. But this episode shows the truth: silence does not protect love. It slowly drains it. Secrets do not disappear with time, they grow roots. And the deeper they go, the harder they are to remove. Amy tries to protect Lindy by hiding the pain of the past. Tim tries to protect himself by locking away his guilt. Lou tries to protect the family by carrying every burden alone. None of them are lying. They are surviving. And that makes the message of this episode so powerful. Because sometimes the hardest thing in life is not fighting a storm. It is facing your own truth. If Heartland has taught us anything over the years, it is this: families do not break because of pain. They break because of silence. But they also heal when someone chooses to speak. And that is where episode 2 leaves us, with a question that lingers far beyond the end credits. Will the truth bring this family closer or tear them apart? We do not have the answer yet. But what we do know is this: the storm is coming. And the secrets that were once hidden in shadows will soon step into the light.